Hey guys, welcome back for another old reader, new reader. We have a special guest today. It's Tina. Thanks for coming on,
Hi
Tina.
guys. You're welcome.
And Omar's experiencing some technical difficulties, so he will be here at some point.
Who can say? I mean,
Right, so near, so mid,
so
Jonathan. So, this is the second pick of July. Yeah. Times
second pick.
they don't exist anymore. Like schedules and times and days. I don't know how long anything is. I can't believe it's July 14th. And today's pick is Ironheart. Now this is the Eve Ewing run. Because I heard mixed things about, was it Bendis that wrote her first?
Yes, Bendis did. Yeah,
I think I heard mixed things about that run.
I think a lot of sites I've looked at kind of credit him as one of the co-creators of Riri.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I heard great things about Eve Ewing's run, and I had already read Volume 1 a while ago, but need to reread. And so I thought we'd go ahead and read the first two volumes. And I guess that's all there is of this run, which is too bad because I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
so they never finished the story since Volume 2, or is it still in an ongoing run?
That's my ignorance of like. I'm sure somebody in the chat will know better for me, but unfortunately, I have no idea.
Okay, that was interesting.
Because I know I've seen her in other things since this.
Yes, because Bendis did his thing. She's also in Champions, right? So she was part of the Champions group for a while. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where this takes place, is after she leaves Champions.
Right, and now I'm dying to read Champions.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
Because it has a lot of cool characters that I think I would really enjoy reading.
I know, right? Even just like the little tidbits we get through here, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens.
Right?
Like, what's going on? So this is about Riri. Oh my god, they really were trying me with this one. Riri Williams, who took over from Tony Stark, right? But I guess Tony Stark is still operating, so it just happens to be someone else who was inspired by and made her own suit. And from what I understand, he did, I guess,
mentoring. Mentoring and her, I believe. Yeah, because he even calls her like my mentee, which I was like, hey.
And we just kind of see her like. Sorry, I can do a quick thing, or if you guys want to.
No, you go ahead. You do go ahead. And we read both volumes for everyone who didn't know. Yeah.
And I won't go too in depth, so that way we can just really talk about it. But we see her with her own lab at the beginning. I haven't read before this, so I don't know what precedes this run at all. But I still think it's new reader friendly enough. And at the same time, she's running into this enemy who belongs to the 10 Rings. Mm-hmm. And trying to figure that out and kind of go in there. And also kind of distancing herself from this funded lab that she's in, because she's kind of run into a lot of oversight that she didn't want in her lab, because she wants to be able to do things on her own without people getting in her business all the time.
Yes.
And it kind of leads her into a lot of different adventures in different places with different named superheroes that we already recognize, as she's going through here, and basically gives kind of a look into her past in a really cool way. Yeah. Honestly, I just want to get into talking about it.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed this. And as a new reader, now I had read like Amazing Spider-Man Worldwide, so like Peter Parker or Parker Industries and everything like that was very familiar with me, because the first volume deals heavily with Clash, which is a enemy that Spider-Man faced. Originally, he was a scientist who basically just wanted to follow in Spider-Man's footsteps, I guess, in some capacity, and he just doesn't get recognized for his, abilities, man. These supervillains, they just can't get love for how smart they are. And
I did love that bit a lot.
Yeah, they won't recognize you for your intelligence.
Yes. And I thought it was really cool to see those kind of characters. But then she kind of has her own villains, right? So Midnight's Fire is a particularly interesting villain. He is, I'm guessing he's the leader of the Ten Rings, if not a very prominent member of the Ten Rings, with a very interesting backstory. Where he kind of had a very, I don't want to say a similar upbringing to her, but he has had a lot of pain and loss. So a lot of things that Riri deals with in this is the idea of loss and how do you cope with it, because haunted by the loss of her stepfather, who is really her father, because to her father died before she was born, and then her best friend Natalie, and she distanced. Hey, there's Omar.
Yeah, I think that's what makes her so interesting. Although it's also weighs on her personally, right? Because she's like, she even mentions like when people ask me about this, they mention, of course, like, me being like Iron Man's mentee, but also the next thing is what the trauma I've been through, the people I've lost in my life.
Yes.
Like, it's just like that's like the one about Riri Williams. It's this and it's this.
Yes.
But made her so interesting, especially I love her talking about her best friend.
Yeah. Xavier.
No.
Oh, Natalie, her AI.
Natalie.
Comes her AI.
Yep.
I thought that was so touching and so surprising.
So how it got to that point, I was like, was she working on it while she was on the phone with Xavier? Because in the first issue or two, people were asking her why she didn't have an AI like Tony Stark. And she's like, oh, I might get one. And then all of a sudden, she kind of happened because it was her subconscious, and her memories bled into it and created her AI. And I was like, was she working on that? So that part wasn't clear. But I didn't think I cared as much if it wasn't that clear for me.
It is in there, but it's really quick. It happens really quick because she has that sort of like robotic AI, and she's like, man, I got to work on it. And then within the next couple panels, you have Natalie that kind of suddenly appears or comes to life.
She said also that like when she was trying to create an AI that suited her personality best, so she was she was like running a system to study herself and her brainwaves and everything else, and it just naturally created Natalie, which is like the best suitable.
Yeah, everyone was like, wait a minute, where's Omar?
I just got into it, so
I was trying to fix this computer. I don't know what's going on with it. I think it had some updates or something. So.
Michael said shut up.
Already? I haven't even said anything. Okay. I was just letting them finish their. I assume you all did.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah, I made it really quick. So I just wanted to go and talk about it.
You wanted to talk about this?
We could talk volume by volume.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty short too. Which. They are really. What I really found interesting about the idea of loss, though, I kept making parallels to Hamilton, because she experienced a lot of loss. A lot of people close to her died, but she found her way out of Chicago. The eye of the hurricane.
MIT. Like, she's, used all of her intelligence, like Hamilton. I don't like to make, analogies, but
she even mentions it. Because she brings that up, and she's like, are you facing some type of survivor's guilt because you got out?
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I kept going back to that, and I don't know why.
Yeah, and there's a vast amount of loss in this, and it's interesting because like everybody does not have a father figure that is living, but father figures feature very heavily in this, and it's sort of interesting to see that absentee fatherism come into play and how it shapes the characters.
Yeah, it's very true, because we get to see that maybe not all the fathers.
Did you all talk about the creation of the character or how?
No, we just
I don't know anything.
Yeah,
okay.
We did. Yeah,
I got you.
I was showing my own ignorance.
So,
now,
so
did that come about in Champions?
No, she is part of Champions. But the character debuted during Brian Michael Bendis' run on Iron Man. And much like the character of Miles Morales that he created for his son, he created the character of Riri Williams for his daughter. And it was, how do I put it? Well, you all know how I feel about Brian Michael Bendis.
What's wrong with me winging it?
So, we do know how you feel.
Y'all don't know winging it until y'all see my high school papers and college papers. That's winging it. So Brian Michael Bendis created this character, and it got a lot of backlash because it was just There were a lot of tropes that he used that you're talking about an African American family. Her father dies, her stepfather dies, her friends get shot, and they're all kind of like gang related. Chicago, and it's almost like that. Not only is it the Marvel, hey, let's make a hero out of this orphan thing, but it's also the stereotypical thing of what was happening, and a lot of people were like upset with that, just like a lot of people were upset with Eve Ewing writing this book because of the way that she got the job. She didn't like. I remember when this was a big thing, like when it was coming out, because she was a poet and she had written some things, but she wasn't like looking to write a comic book writer. Like, she's not a comic book writer, right? So she wasn't looking forward to doing this. So they approached her. Most people, and I think that's what upset a lot of people. There were a lot of people that are trying to make it into the comic book industry, and she got her own series just because. So that being said, holy shit, was the series really good? Because I don't like Riri Williams, but now I like Riri Williams.
Yeah.
Mainly because of Eve Ewing's writing, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. Did y'all mention Midnight's Fire already?
We started to bring him up. Yes. Yeah. We name dropped him.
I'll get into that later.
Well, I figured we'd go volume by volume. So if you want to go ahead and talk about what you thought about volume 1.
Sure, you ladies go ahead. I just gave a quick little
No, that was helpful because I don't have... I mean, all I knew is that, like, a lot of people didn't like that first run of Ironheart, because I remember reading so much hate about that series. And then a lot of great things about this one, because she also kind of got an outfit change in this one as well.
Yes,
right?
she did.
Love her outfit. Like, it makes sense.
Because it used to be... It shows it in the back of this,
right?
Yeah. But the Invincible Iron Man Ironheart
I was like, that
very
looks
much
a lot
just
different.
like...
Remember, she was Iron Man for a long time. Tony was dead, and Tony became her AI, right? Kind of like what we have here with Natalie. So during that time when Tony was dead, he left her pretty much Stark Industries, because she started like it was a cute little thing. It reminded me a lot of Jason Todd. Like, she stole equipment from Stark Industry to make her own costume. But then eventually, yes, she became her own hero. Tony Stark, of course, then stayed dead, and now she can't be Iron Man, so she decides to become Ironheart in redesigning her costume, like you all said, which I think is freaking awesome.
So I do really want to talk about, I mean, the main villain in this, and like the 10 circles and everything, but basically how she got involved with it because of this friend from her high school, Deja. Which one, I love the body diversity and representation. Like, no matter what comic book I read, I don't see this body in it in any way. But their friendship and how she took care of Riri in high school and how they kind of took care of each other, I really love seeing. And then seeing her being able to help her again as, like, Ironheart was really great. Okay, you gotta take this off me. I'm too.
Oh no, you're on a roll.
I get a little nervous.
Because we see the two of them meet in high school, where Riri's getting picked on because she's young,
and
in high school, and she kind of takes like an older sister role with that, and it's like, hey, you need to take care of this girl. I'm missing class and she's missing class, and you're making a mistake by not taking care of her here. And ultimately, she's not able to finish high school, and she kind of falls into her own troubles. Trying to take care of her family, but we see that she's missing, and that's how Riri gets involved even more so with the 10 rings and with these missing children. And I loved this whole bit, and oh man, and I loved this as well, that moment where she gets this like PTSD moment with
that
where she
flashback.
When Thanos.
Yes, when Thanos grabbed her by the neck. And I think that's one of the things I liked about Eve Ewing throughout this, and also the second volume. Her use of flashbacks were perfect for the story. It just wasn't because we needed more backstory on Riri Williams. It was because it was going to serve the story later on. Those are just different examples of that, because every flashback of hers had something to do with the story.
I will say it is difficult to create new characters for a lot of creators, because there's always this thing of like, oh, okay, why are we going to make Spider-Man, black? Why are we going to make Thor a woman? And the thing is like Marvel and DC have tried for years to come up with new characters. and it has shown because of sales, it is difficult to get readers to try out a new character.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the problem sometimes is because the stories aren't that great. Like, I was done. I didn't care about Riri Williams. I didn't follow the Champions that much, unless it was a Wade series. But had I not read this, I wouldn't have cared. I kind of wish this had kept going. So the problem is like, how do you create a new character and make it its own, like, give it its own voice and keep people reading? And the last time I kind of remember something like that happening without because she's, regardless of how you feel, she's still a legacy character. She's still Iron Man Jr. in her, even though she's broken out and done her own thing. The last time I remember something successfully breaking out as far as new characters is something like Runaways, and I mean in the big two, not like independent titles. It's just really difficult for people to, like, I don't know if comic book readers are creatures of habit. They're like, oh, I don't know about this, but I find it really interesting.
Like, 50 plus years of the same characters, like how can they not be creatures of habit?
And also, I think characters like this, like, you know, I can't help reading this. I keep thinking about Nadia and Unstoppable Wasp, not just because she's in it, but because, like, that's also a series that was very good and also got canceled. And I still think that characters like these, like newer characters, younger characters that have these sort of like character arcs and and archetypes do better as a single release or straight to trade than floppies.
Yeah, and I will say, like, most people have written off.
Kamala is the exception.
Well, no, Kamala's also a legacy character, though. She is Miss Marvel. There have been plenty of Miss Marvels.
Exception is in, like, she's so successful, and
she's been more successful than maybe Riri.
Well, yes, than most of the other. Well, I don't know, Miles got a movie.
Okay, Miles. And I think it's just the Spider-Man. I don't know if it's just Spider-Man touch or whatever the case may be. For that helps out a lot. Too.
My point was that I wish the people that had just kind of stop reading Ironheart or did not want to read any more about Riri Williams would give it a second chance and give this book a try. Obviously, it got canceled after the 12 issues, and I was mad. I was like, no, I want to know more, and I had to look at it. I'm like, oh, it's already canceled.
The end of the second volume ends pretty much kind of on a cliffhanger where her story can continue.
Right.
And here I thought maybe we had a volume 3 that just hadn't come out yet. Guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't see. Like, people didn't have that much of an issue when it was. But honestly, I think, Freddie, what happened was a lot of people had just stopped reading Iron Man by that point when the whole Doom thing started happening. But yeah, anybody that had already sworn off Riri Williams, I wish they would read at least these 2 trade paperbacks because they're wonderful.
It's just being introduced to these characters in the 10 Rings, and like, I'm so upset because I do want to know more.
Right.
Oh, you do.
I want to know about.
Well, let me introduce you to a title called The New Warriors, because that's where all that is from. Midnight's Fire and his sister Silhouette. Yeah, there were new characters from The New Warriors. There's even a flashback where Nova's in here.
Yeah, the one where they talk about the Wellspring.
The Wellspring of Power.
Yeah, so all that was in New Warriors 25. That's what the big first arc was. So it was okay. I love when. So Eve could have handled this a different way, right? Like, Eve could have done, like, all right, whatever, I'm going to write a comic book. I don't care.
Yeah.
And done her own thing, written her own message, and people would have been pissed, like, oh, I told you she wasn't a comic book writer. But, man, she went the other route. She not only made a good comic book, she also did her research and respected the history of other characters that had nothing to do with Iron Man, and just shown, oh, I loved it. I loved when they put little things like that. They did it in New Warriors Volume 4 that nobody ever read, but it was written by Kevin Gravow. Is that his name? The guy that did Underworld. He created the Blue Marble for Marvel Comics too. Freaking awesome. Like, completely underrated. Nobody read it. And I feel like that's what happened here. Nobody really read this series.
I'm so glad to hear you like it.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was great.
No, it was fantastic. And I loved that, and I think because Eve Ewing is a sociologist from Chicago, so I'm kind of glad they brought her in. She's done a lot of, especially the storyline that you talked about earlier with Deja going missing, and the whole undercurrent of these seedy politicians trying to create a problem that isn't really there in order to win votes and everything like that. The way that was all handled was perfect, and I think it's a lot of the different elements of it spoke to just Eve's own experiences, probably as a young woman growing up in Chicago. So I think that helped a lot bring so much energy to Riri's character throughout.
Yeah.
And they're very, very modern problems too. Very much what we're dealing with right now and within the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And to deal with her trauma in like a very respectful and true way.
Yeah.
Because they do it so well throughout, you know, because she's characterized so well. Because I like that, like, she has that trauma, and she's emotional, she's sensitive, but she's so interesting because she's very, like, awkward. She's very focused on work. She's very standoffish.
Yes.
And I really like that.
And Xavier's character really pairs well with that because it's trying to get her out, and her mom's trying to help her be more social interactive, and her relationship at first with Xavier kind of brings that about. Like, she's like, oh, you know, I'm not only into like engineering, this very geeky thing, but I'm into cosplay because she has, you know,
Gordy's advisor. Yeah. Well, that's a nice touch.
And of course, I love that she starts her own lab at the end of this.
Yep.
You know, and brought in those kids that she saved, those kids in need, and gave them
the
a place
ones
to
that
be.
like had like, sorry, my mom's just not there, my father's not there, and she recognizes it. She's like, these are kids that are dealing with their own problems, and that's a recurrent theme in this. Another one, like kids that are dealing with their own problems, they're not relying on others, and that's what her friend that she met in high school is doing, basically trying to keep Riri out of it. You know, trying to, you know, just take over and, you know, keep other people out of getting in trouble, essentially.
So how do you guys like there's a one-off at the end with her and Miles. It's a Groundhog Day situation. How did you all like that one?
It was cute. I like seeing Miles back in action, so it was fun to see them together and kind of see how, since I've never read Champions, to kind of get an idea of how their pairing, their relationship would have worked, their little friendship. So
right,
or maybe not friendship. I don't know. They're kind of seems on the fence about who liked who.
Did y'all talk about the artwork?
Not yet.
Let's talk about it. I loved it.
So the entire all 12 issues are drawn by Luciano. What is it? Vecchio.
Yeah.
Luciano Vecchio. But the
I'm-
6th issue that you mentioned is drawn by Kevin Lebranda, and they have such a similar style that I didn't even notice until I
didn't notice it
double
either.
checking. The one with Miles Morales, that's the one that's drawn by the other artist, and it's interesting because I don't ever see this. Like, there's additional layouts. I don't ever see that in comic books these days.
More like Megan Good.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
that they're keeping that in there. So you
it
have
was
a
done by
layout
a
artist.
really small team too. It seemed like.
I mean, the dude, Luciano, I don't know if that's a lady or a dude, I'm sorry.
But I
love the way that he draws her. I think I love the design of her own armor. You know, she's got a little heart. It reminds me of something like my daughter would design. That's why I fell in love with it.
Slick. It feels very anime to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like very
the style is
anime suit. Like, I love it.
Okay. Monkey's saying that it's Vecchio. It's written Vecchio here, Italian here. Okay, I trust you.
We trust you then. Thank you.
And Freddie also recommends keep going with Champions after Wade leaves.
Is that Jim Subs run? Jim Subs run? Is that who did it after Wade? I really can't remember. Yeah, I like that team. It just kind of fell off the radar. I don't know why.
I'll probably try it now that I've read this. So going on to
Volume 2.
Volume
2 really gets it going because we get some zombies. We get a little bit of Doctor Strange. Made me super excited.
Well, he teams up with Wasp at the very 7th issue,
which was perfect. I'm so glad that they brought these two together because while Riri's making her lab at the same time, Nadia is making her lab for young female scientists.
Right.
And so everyone knows how much I love Nadia.
It's very strange. I almost felt like it was kind of like a weird play date for them to like get together and hash out stuff. It was actually pretty nice and sweet.
It was very nice of them to let Xavier join them.
Right? I mean, he felt like
without him, they wouldn't have been able to fight those zombies efficiently because he knew how to fight zombies. Superheroes just don't know.
It's that, yeah. But no, he totally felt like a Sokka tagging along with, these guys that have powers. And
for sure. And then going on to, see Doctor Strange which is so great. And I love that they also take a moment to explain, like, there's some really good moments between her and Nadia. Like, she talks about, this guy, does he see evil in me? Is there actually evil in me?
Yeah,
That's why he wants
when she's talking about Midnight's Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because he recognizes something in her.
Which we see why later.
Which we see why.
Yeah, which I really liked. I'm so glad she did.
Yes.
Like,
Me too. I was like, what? It threw my head through. Yeah.
And I'm so thankful for Nadia, because Nadia's, so chipper and so, like, peppy, which is so not where she came from.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no, anybody can be evil. She's like, I was a wicked assassin.
Exactly.
I was trained to kill people at the Red Room.
Now, she's only had, like, a series of 3 trade paperbacks, right?
That's right.
Not Nadia.
Mm-hmm. But they're all good.
I've only read the first one, based on your recommendation, and I liked it. I know.
Read the rest. It hurt because
it hurts when series are canceled, and then like a lot of people, like I'm like, ugh, I don't need to read this. It's gone. Either because, and I don't think it's all garbage or anything. It's just like, what's the point? I hate thinking like that, but that's the way that it
Jessie
was.
says 4.
She has 4.
4. Okay.
There's a really good part. I don't think it's in the first volume, but in the second volume, there's a good part with Nadia and the original Wasp. That's like made me cry. It was so good.
Are there ties to new Warrior characters in the series? You damn Skippy! Not only my boy Midnight's Fire, but look who else we get. Hold on a second. It's his sister, Silhouette, man. She's back.
So these characters were in that one, because I know that the 10 rings were, right? And like the Wellspring.
Yeah, Ty was part of the big. Well, they weren't really the 10 rings then, but yeah, she was a big part of that.
So
Were
question
they
about
called
her.
something else then?
I don't remember. I just remember she was evil, and she gave Cord one of her daughters, and they had kids, and then Dwayne's father. Like it's a big complicated story because you're talking about 90s, but
90s New York City.
Well, Midnight's Fire had been gone. I mean, he died in New Warriors 25, and then he came back in Volume 5 of New Warriors, which Chris Yost wrote that, who went on to do Thor, Ragnarok, and stuff. But anyway, that's when he came back. But Dwayne was dead. But anyway,
so
no one cares about what.
But I have a question.
You need to go back to school, man. That's not how you spell no one.
So,
all right, go ahead.
Silhouette, was she number one? Are those like accessibility aids that she has?
No, she has almost like mutant-like powers to do the shadow.
No.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
This one,
that's right. They don't talk about it. Yeah, she is because she was shot. I think they talk about when she was shot.
Yeah.
And she became she couldn't use her legs. So Dwayne built her. Night Thrasher built those for her.
It's so cool.
It is. I mean, dude, I'm serious. New Warriors was way ahead of its time with the things they were doing in the 90s.
Okay, so that happened before then, too. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. That happened in issue...
Makes me want to read New Warriors, man.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody should read New Warriors. But, yeah, I was so happy to see those characters and tying it back into Ty and all that story. It.
So can we all agree that everything that happened in Wakanda until the end of the volume was perfect?
Yes, I love that team up.
Yeah. Her relationship with Shuri, everything.
Riri,
Riri forever. I was like, that's a great name, Silhouette. He just came up with that.
And Okoye and Shuri
and
Silhouette. Oh my god.
Like, I appreciate it, but it took me a while to realize, oh, that's right. Shuri doesn't look like the way she used to anymore. She's a lot more like her movie counterpart these days.
Sense,
yeah.
Which, I mean, when movies come out, all these characters...
They want to get people who may not have read the comics invested. Yes.
Come on, man. Why you gonna stir shit up already? Oh, it depends on it. Who's his running mate?
No.
What if his running mate is Machine Gun Kelly?
It's just...
You're just trying to get...
for Trump.
It's Kanye, guys. I'm just kidding. I ain't voting for damn Kanye.
I love their back and forth because I was so excited for them to meet, and I just assumed because they're two like very STEM focused minds that they would get along, and then they didn't, which I loved. And then I really did enjoy Riri being like, you already had this handed to you.
I had to work it off for it.
I was like, oh no.
But she did. I mean, yeah, she has a good point. Shuri had to work for, or didn't have to work for anything. I mean, it was kind of just handed to her, being a princess of probably the wealthiest country in Marvel's Earth.
I mean, they were already dealing with intersectionality right there. They were like, "Hey, guess what?"
Oh, and when she started to cry when she got to Wakanda,
Because she's
Oh,
yes, I
that
know.
was really sweet.
But my favorite part was just Xavier, who's like, "How's the food? I want to know how the food is."
Yeah, he's like, I don't care about the beautiful buildings or the culture. What's the food like?
What's his name again, Tina?
Xavier.
See, I'm proud of these two. They're calling him Xavier, which ever since X-Men, that's what you're supposed to call any dude with that name. You're still calling him, based on the school, Xavier. I'm so disappointed in you. Xavier.
Like the university?
Yeah. That's what most people called it before X-Men. Like the movie came out. Most people were like, Xavier. Now everyone after X-Men is Xavier.
Will you show off to the chat that first image of Silhouette when she shows up, Omar?
With her.
Yeah. Let me find it really quick.
Let's see.
I can't remember the page number.
Yeah.
Tina, you can share your screen if you find it before I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it real fast here. I'm at the end though.
Here, I have mine.
Oh wait, I have it on mine. Okay.
Here.
There we go. Thank you.
Man.
I love that outfit.
All, she looks awesome. Second, the mobility aids, I don't know why, but I just was so happy to see it. And it wasn't a big deal. You know? It's like, yeah. And she's kicked so much ass. I was like, that's so amazing to see. I just...
There wasn't a character like that in the Marvel universe before this, right? Like DC had Oracle, who was in a wheelchair, who I still to this day am upset about that decision, but whatever. You know, so this was ahead of its time. This was Feminicius, you know, saying, "Hey, I think this would make a really cool and interesting character." It's not what defines her, but you know, it adds to the really cool factor. I remember like her first outfit was okay, but her second outfit, which looks a lot more like that, solid.
I love it. I love them working together. Like, and they all play off each other so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a comic I could watch.
She still sneaks into Wakanda. What is it with this girl from Chi-Town? That was it, man.
Oh, I just realized Kanye's from Chi-Town too.
I'm so glad there's so many new Warrior fans in the chat tonight. I'm so proud of you all. Most of the time, it's just me rambling to myself about how great that series was.
You bring it up a lot. We probably should read it.
It's
but yeah,
one of my favorites.
This volume ends with that Wakanda just. Okay, so it ends with a major revelation. Which can we share? We can share it. We can spoil stuff.
Yeah, who's got the
spoils?
Who's got the screen? You
Here,
can share it.
I got it.
He's got the screenshot. So it ends. So basically, what she's doing is trying to find this wellspring of power that the 10 rings, because their whole goal is to have all the weapons and all the power. And while these main members of the 10 rings are there, one of them takes off their hood.
That's what I meant to do.
And comes to find out that it is Riri's biological father.
Yeah.
Yes. One that she thought died before she was even born.
And she's talked about him so much because she said, you know, my stepfather's my father.
Yes, because
I never met my father, so I'm okay. Like, just he died, but I'm fine.
Yes.
And she learns that he's been here.
Still time, alive.
Oh, important. Thank you so much. Please do not forget to like this video. Thank you so much. I'm surprised. Wait, Uncanny X-Men went on sale today, didn't it? Oh, I'm sure plenty were ordered. Plenty of those copies were ordered. So.
Oh, and poor Riri has a whole breakdown about it, and he doesn't know.
Yeah,
you know?
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
he has no idea who she is.
That just compounds the sadness.
But it's so great. And then you have the girls fight their way out. And then it ends, you know.
With Riri basically having like this moment, because they use the Stone of Hala in the Wellspring of Power, and she kind of ends up, I don't know, getting like attached to its like memory drive or whatever the case may be, and kind of having a moment. And that's where she kind of realized what happened to her father, that in fact he was he was basically selling his body for money to some scientist, which happened to be, and
well, he thought he was just donating plasma. Like, you go to this sketchy place,
making some money,
gonna go make some money, and hey, no,
he was not, and that's how he kind of ended up where he's at.
So, Saturday Morning Fan is mentioning Circuit Breaker. I forgot about her character, but you know who else forgot? Like IDW, whenever they were reprinting those Transformer books, they completely just whited her out. Like any scene, because she belonged to Marvel. I know it's really weird, but whenever they did the latest Transformer reprints, like she was added on there. I completely forgot about that character, but you're right. She did predate Silhouette. Omar, how many New Warrior movies have there been? Right? None, because no one cares. Ouch, man, you were going right for the jugular. You know what? You know who cares about them? Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem cares about the New Warriors, okay?
But man, yeah, because she realizes everything that happens after this big, like, out-of-body experience with her dad. Mm-hmm. And before she can say anything to him again, they leave. And she goes back home to Chicago to see, her mother and her friends. And that's it. That's all we get about it. And now we'll never know.
Well, isn't she writing the current run of Champions, maybe? I know she's writing something. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So maybe, I mean, if I know when a series is canceled and
you utilize that property elsewhere.
Well, a writer really likes the character, you're going to finish out that story somewhere else. Mm-hmm. I mean, same thing happened to like ROM and all these other series that were canceled. The writer takes their story somewhere else.
And I hope they do, because I'm very much interested, and I hope that, maybe that we can revive this, because Riri's gotten more popular since like the Marvel Rising, like animated stuff has come out. Like she's a main character in that. So are a lot of the other younger characters. It would be nice to see this have a resurgence, or maybe it's better suited as like a graphic novel by itself, like a YA or something.
I think I'd like to see. I'd like to see both of these books put together, like in a complete collection. Maybe a little bit later, like give it some time, which sucks, but bring a new audience in. Mm-hmm. I need to get Lydia to read these because she really liked the original series by Bendis, and I was like, really? That?
Please, Unstoppable Wasp. Please have a
okay, yeah.
Like whatever she wants to like, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, she can. Okay, we've been over this. She does like things.
She likes a lot of Bendis.
she is more than welcome to like Bendis. That is her choice.
I'm with you, Maddie. Wasp was
so
really
sad.
Nice.
Marvel is doing a Riri graphic novel. I'm in.
Oh, cool.
I'm in.
Yeah,
and I think Freddie's right early in the chat. I need to read Shuri, too.
Yeah.
Outlawed tie-ins of Champions, but I'm sure that series is canceled without issue 1 out. But ensure Riri's story will get somewhat more closure. Man, yep. She liked one story. Settle down.
Did she read Ultimate Spider-Man?
I forget how big your damn cat is. When you pick that thing up, I'm like, what? Out of the corner of my eye. I thought you had Lyndon with you.
No.
She didn't read Ultimate Spider-Man, but I think, you know what? She did. She did read Ultimate Spider-Man. She made it all the way to Ultimate Carnage. I don't know if anybody in the chat remembers what happens to Ultimate Gwen Stacy during that run. She was a little upset about that.
That's hard.
Yeah. Man, she can pick. She chose Transformers. As a matter of fact, we're reading volume 11 of Phase 2 right now.
See, I loved it. I'm gonna guess.
Tina,
I loved it.
What did you think of the art, Tina?
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Although you guys really didn't mention my favorite villain, which was Eclipse with the zombies. I mean, you did briefly mention the zombies.
I like her. I like the design.
Yeah, I loved her design. I thought her powers were very interesting. But no, overall, the character design, the art, it's gorgeous. The colorist did an amazing job too, if we can talk on that. Yeah. Because everything fit so seamlessly together. It was a nice package.
Do you feel like it was new reader friendly?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were some parts
Tina should answer.
Thanks, Omar.
just
Like he's just like,
absolutely like I'm sorry, Tina. Go
let
ahead.
me just spread my legs a little farther here. Yeah.
You are a new reader of this particular run.
What kind of show are we having tonight?
I'm talking about you. You're just like, here,
Oh,
let me.
man spreading. I was like,
Right.
Oh, is
I
that,
thought you were trying to get
I thought
fresh
you were
on the
trying to
show.
get likes on the show or something. This isn't TikTok, Tina.
That's not how we do it, guys.
That's not how TikTok works either. I've come to find out.
Oh my gosh.
This
Anyway,
is not
Tina,
a thirst trap, okay? Come on.
go ahead, Tina.
No, it was so as a new reader, it was very approachable. There were a few parts where something was lost in translation. Maybe it was something mentioned in Champions. I did feel a little disconnect, maybe here or there, like you were talking about the AI. There's a little bit of jump here or there that I felt could have been abridged a little bit better. But as a new reader, it did flow pretty seamlessly. I did connect with the characters. I really, really love this character, and I'm very, very sad that this got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
That's the
happens.
consensus. Yeah,
That's how I
it
feel
does
about
happen.
a lot of Marvel
Happens.
things that I like. They're just too
Well, and I think the reasoning behind it is they're trying a lot of new things. They're shooting stuff out and seeing what sticks. And unfortunately, a lot of stuff, like you guys were talking about earlier, a lot of stuff doesn't stick unless it's constantly brought up over and over again. And then you slowly bleed your way into something a little bit more like this character eventually earns its own book, but only after it's been introduced over here in Spider-Man. It's been over here in X-Men. It's come up multiple times, and people are familiar with the character and the product, which is sad.
Well put.
Yeah, that is true.
Well put. So, Tina, what would you give this book, this series, all 12 issues? Out of 10.
Out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
Any?
Oh, look. Sorry. I just wanted to point out that Jack thinks that the three of us are late 20s.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jack,
I'll actually be 30.
I mean, I am, but-
that dude's in, like 16 years
You
old.
are
man.
though, Matt. He's like the only one who actually is.
All right,
Maddie's
all
the
right.
only one who actually is.
I'm going to let that
almost
slide,
40.
Jack.
Jack's on you tonight, Omar.
Yeah, he is,
What?
man. He must have been... never mind. I'm going to keep quiet. Damn it. All right, go ahead, Tina.
Okay, I would give it probably a 7.5 or an 8. It's somewhere right in there. I think it's pretty solid. There were a few things that those little misconnects, I wish they fleshed out a little bit better. It was very, very well written, but they jumped just a little bit here or there. And that's kind of where I fell out of sync a little bit on it.
Yeah, I agree. Because I really liked it, and I'd like some more. I think
Right.
7.58
The art
is
was a
good.
10. I love it.
I am not. I'm listening to her. She said 7.58.
Real quick, I think it's
Yeah.
perfect for.
Yes.
I think it works for
Yeah.
11 and older. Honestly.
Yeah.
If
Right.
they're
I think it's very
comfortable
age appropriate.
with death and I mean her background's a little violent. You know,
And
it's
man,
not like
I do
Lion
not
King.
agree that it's a big step down from Miles. I just think it's different.
And Miles
Oh yeah,
got a lot more issues to really.
Miles took a big dip down after Bendis did that whole revelation in Ultimate. Yeah, come at me, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh,
that
yeah,
whole revelation where he,
We had this
I
discussion
hated that
earlier.
part. And
You hated that.
I don't like Bendis. And in the first half, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna take my word back because I actually like this book. And then he did the Bendis thing about halfway through that omnibus, and I'm like, oh, there he is. There's Bendis.
There's that guy I don't like.
All right, Amanda, what did you think? What's your...
I think I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 10.
Omar?
I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was gonna get a 7.5 because I agree. I wish that there were some things that weren't jumped around a little bit, like Tina said. I wish we had focused more on her life, her personal life. She seemed like she was going on from adventure to another adventure, which is okay. But
Right.
since there's only 12 issues, it
Yeah.
sucks, right? We didn't get that me time. But
Yes.
8.5, 7.5 without the New Warriors, 8.5 when you go back and throw my New Warriors in there. That's awesome.
And now I'm down to read New Warriors if you
Me
want to
too.
throw it in one month.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little different than this, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's vastly different. It's from the early 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, but I
Ooh,
love
must
yeah.
have read some 90s.
Mhm.
Listen
I
to
love
that.
Richard Rider, so I don't care.
Yeah,
I
that's
picked up a few issues back in the day.
Oh, when like the way he has reintroduced the New Warriors is freaking brilliant for anybody that's read it. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. And the same scene is played out in his Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning series too, the way that it's done. So, what about you, Maddie, or anybody in the chat that's read it? What would you give
Oh,
it?
I said 8.
She agreed
8.
with.
I
Yeah.
gave it the highest rating. All right, go me.
Go
I'm
you.
a bigger Ironheart fan than all of you
I want
are.
to say I'm so glad that you got the analog trades. I think those are fantastic. Like, I wouldn't have read it unless it was given to me to read, and I'm so glad I did. I thought analog was great.
Freddie gave it 8.5.
Jack
Yeah.
gave it an 8.99 out of 10.
And I hope that you guys who haven't read it, I hope that you do.
Oh, if you're gonna read one,
Yeah.
read this run, please. Don't. You can
Yeah,
skip the
don't-
Bendis stuff. I think somebody was asking a little bit earlier. The Bendis stuff is just not the greatest. I'll leave it at that. Maybe some people liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse
But-
Christian.
Oh,
Sorry.
I was gonna say you go to bed, man. At 2:45. Thank you for joining
I'd be
us.
asleep already. Jesse gave it a 9 out of 10. I don't know if anyone else has read it.
Hold on a second, Jack. Are you really 16 or are you 40? Because no one remembers the Clone Saga. I'm starting to doubt that you're 16, man. Why is the
He's
scale
very
out of
well
10
read.
and not out of 5? I'll tell you why. The same reason I told Melanie, Elliot.
Elliot.
Gives you a little more wiggle room. And Melanie said, oh, she had a little light bulb pop up on her head. So that's why we
Yeah,
do it.
'cause it's like a 3 out of 5's already, like an automatic 60.
For people who
Yeah.
haven't read it, Roberto says Volume 1 is on Comixology Unlimited.
There you go.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Roberto.
So Riri for a live action movie.
Gosh.
Her own?
I would love for her to be. Do we
I mean-
we cast?
I think it would be difficult right now because people still are really hurt over what's his name, Robert Downey Jr. doing Dr. Doolittle instead of Iron Man 4. But
I
hey,
think she would
whatever.
do really well. I think she
Yes.
would do really well as like a character that is introduced in a movie or is a part of
Yes.
a movie, but not for her single, sole
I
movie.
think it's possible because
Well-
we've already heard that
If
there's
Megan Good plays her.
there's
and
an
that's
effort
the
going
one.
forward, right, to do a younger, like a Young Avengers type
Mm-hmm.
of thing. We already know we're
Yeah.
gonna get a Miss Marvel. We're gonna get some other things.
Spider-Man.
It would make
Well-
sense. Yeah, it would make sense to go that route and introduce other characters in Champions. Because
Right.
Nova is probably going to be, Sam, what's his face?
Sam, what's his
Sam
name?
Alexander.
Sam
yes.
Alexander.
Yes. I would be
I
totally...
think I'm with Jesse. I say give her
No,
a
I
shot.
wanted
Give her a
Ironclad, so I could have...
I would
think
love to give her a
it
shot,
would
but
be. It
I
wouldn't-
think it would get canceled. That's the
Why?
problem, I think. Because just like this, I don't think people
I
don't
think
the
that
character
so.
hasn't been introduced enough.
Tina, you forget how much people love the MCU. Like, it's insane. They made Ant-Man and Wasp, and that made a lot of movie,
Long as
and that
they
was
tie it
not a good movie.
That was not a
Just
good
saying.
movie. But
The reason
yeah,
why
get what
I
you're saying.
think it could work is because of the success of Marvel Rising so far. So, like, kids today already have her in a cartoon, along with America Chavez, along with Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel. It's all doing pretty well. I think it could work. I think it could have a chance. And hopefully, if we see some success with the other younger kids having shows, it'll move. Yes. The answer is yes.
Oh, she's not my
Yeah.
pick, but that's fine.
I'll take Janelle
I
Monáe
still
and
got
anything.
Angela Bassett. Is she still a thing? She's still my pick. She still looks good. I don't care. Somebody said, hold on a second. This was a good question, I think. Okay, no, this goes back to the thing Maddie and I were talking
I
about.
don't want it to be Sam.
And I know I don't want it to be Sam either. I want it to be Richard Rider. But the studios are probably going to look at a diverse cast, right? I mean, it's what's been happening lately with the MCU. When Amanda and I talked about the MCU, this is something that we've been talking about for years. But you can probably bet that it's going to be Sam Alexander because he's half Latino. Hell, they'll probably make him full Latino in the movie. It
And
won't
I'm
be.
fine with that.
And Richard Rider will be just like dying in the first scene, going, I need to transfer my powers over to some kid on Earth.
Selfishly, I want Richard Rider because I have a connection to him, but I can also see myself now after reading this, if I go read Champions, I'll probably change my mind about how I feel, about, like, Sam. And I think it'll be great regardless. Also, Saturday Morning fan that said that Moon Girl is getting a Disney cartoon.
She is.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Or that's the last thing I heard.
I love Moon Girl.
Yeah. They may not use all the girls and all the people from like Marvel Rising and stuff, but they might use some of them for live action. We're talking about live action films.
I'd really like to have the rest. Also, Clark Nano says that Amber Heard should get replaced by Lisa Bonet in Aquaman 2. Which
Lisa
I think
Bonet,
would be
is
great.
that...
But is
That's
that the
a
mom? Or
Jenny.
Jason
That's Lenny
Momoa-
Kravitz, right?
Yeah,
like
and
Lenny Kravitz.
She's with Jason Momoa, so is that why? Like, because they're really like together in real life?
I mean, I thought she was fine on the Cosby Show. Is she still looking good? I mean, she was a really
yeah.
pretty girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
She's in her 50s.
She
Her
still
and
looks
Jason-
incredible.
As Mira?
and
All
her
right.
daughter is a knockout.
Because of Jason Momoa. See, this is what happens when I don't keep up with my stars. That's why you're making the
Good.
connection. You should talk to Amanda. She probably made that connection long before. Yeah. Thank you,
I
guys.
did already.
It's Jason's wife.
Wife,
Got
yeah,
it. Got
yeah.
it. Got it. Got it. I got it now. She's in her 50s. Yeah, she's still... She has a daughter that's acting. What was she in?
She was in X-Men. She was also in...
She was in X-Men?
Uh-huh. And she was in the new reboot of High Fidelity. And
It had to have been something I've seen, and it wasn't X-Men. I thought it was something else.
the show that it's not Pretty Little Liars, but it's like something
Oh,
Liars on HBO.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I saw it.
Oh, you're talking about are you talking about Zoe Kravitz?
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, from Fantastic Beasts.
That's Lenny Kravitz's daughter,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and Lisa Bonet's daughter.
she's been in everything. God bless America.
I knew Amanda would know. God bless America, indeed.
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Liars.
Big Little Liars. She was, yeah. What an interesting book that was.
Thank you, the niece. That's right.
She is.
Remember when she left the Cosby Show?
Oh, yeah,
So
she's
did
the
I.
She's a new
She's a
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
I forgot about that.
Oh, there's only one Catwoman,
No, she's the new. That's right. With Matt.
and you know who I'm talking about. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. Oh, that never gets old. One more time.
Never,
in the back.
ever.
Oh, look at that. Practical effects. Love it.
Lord.
Cats always land on their feet.
Yikes, I think that might have been a line from the movie, Tina. That sounds like a line from that crappy movie.
It was.
What if they did a Nova movie where it's almost like a Game of Thrones situation with what's his name? Sean Bean, where you think he's going to be the main character throughout, and he turns out to not be. And then
Oh, like they cast some big popular movie star to
he
be.
ends up being Rich Rider, but then he ends up dying like halfway through the movie or something.
It's
Insane
like
shit.
Scream, where you
Yes.
think it's going to be Drew Barrymore.
Yes, that's exactly.
Now people are asking for the Kat Dennings gifts. Y'all know me too damn well.
We just got to have one live show without the
Who said Tina? Tina, Kat Dennings, Tina. Darcy from Thor. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say Kat Dennings?
Tina doesn't
Yo-
watch regular people shows.
I'm trying to think.
If it's not animated or drawn, I
Look,
don't know.
I got
who
you.
they are.
Look, Tina, Kat Dennings, okay?
Kat Dennings from Thor. Do you know? You've seen Thor.
From Thor.
I've watched Thor.
She's like,
I like have face blindness.
You were looking at her face?
I was not.
That's right. Sean Bean does have a PhD in dying. Heck, he could be Richard Rider.
Are those real?
Clocking out for work tomorrow. Thanks a lot, man. That's what my wife said. Are those real? That was her reaction when I showed that kid.
I love it.
So what's on the schedule for next week, Maddie?
Next week is Snapdragon. Amanda has her copy near her.
Yeah, 'cause I'm almost done, so I'm just gonna go ahead. And
My
finish
copy
tonight.
should be in sometime this week.
It's
So-
really cute.
Yeah, my in-stock trades orders have not shipped
Uh-oh.
or been
Oh,
picked
oh,
completely in 2 weeks.
and Media Mail, according to my buddy that works at the post office, is on hold right now.
So
That's how
why
far.
your package isn't here.
Like, no, I finally got mine, but the
Okay.
order that I made on the 30th, just who knows?
Yeah,
It's in Lex.
so-
It's 30 minutes from my house. It's the last thing I saw, and then it's saying in transit. So who knows?
I did upgrade my shipping, so I hope that'll help. But
Not-
my stuff hasn't
maybe
been
a
picked.
little bit.
I made 3 orders, and in each order there's one thing that hasn't been picked and scanned. I'm just like, no.
There's been so many packages and orders because of COVID. The deliveries are high, so even where I work, they've let us know that there are certain priorities, and media mail is not one of them. Even like medical supplies and stuff, they're prioritizing certain things,
Which they should.
And that makes sense. I'm okay waiting. It's
I
just
complain about my first world problems.
Yeah.
I have some books coming in I want to read.
Yeah. I have some books coming that I've already read. I'll read again, but yeah, it's everybody if you're getting media mail. No, we haven't.
On my list.
I know that my wife really likes that series.
My wife really likes that series too.
I almost put on the list for this month, but I chose not to. But if we ever want to read it, I would really like to.
Yeah, we can put it any month.
I have the first volume, so yeah, I'd be up for it.
Did any of you guys get She-Hulk by Byrne? Did y'all like it? I'm a big fan of that series. I loved it, and I got it, and Maddie got it too.
Yeah, I'm reading it for next week on Fangirls. So that would be, oh, never mind. This Sunday. We're reading it this Sunday.
Have you started yet? That's an 80s book. It might take you a little bit.
My weekend's open, so.
I'm not a fan of most of these recent. I'm sorry, man.
Sorry, Jordan.
Well,
can't win them all.
Well, I hope you like the rest of them. Hope you read them.
Yeah, I mean, it's different if you've read them and didn't like them, but if you haven't read them, and then I don't know, man. Give it a shot. Got my Uncanny X-Men DM variant today for the first minute. It's sold out in 9 minutes. Are y'all kidding?
Wow.
Oh, my man knows what's up. Yep. That made me a man. Issue 40. I wish I still had the picture. Hold on, I'll find it. Let me see if I can find the GIF real quick. Some genius made a GIF out of this. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Let's do Rat Queen sometime because I really, really want to.
Yeah, that's one I would like to do as well. Rat Queen's, I think, I found it at a used bookstore, actually. That's where I ended up buying like one of the volumes. We went on one of our shopping excursions.
Yeah.
Our library carries it, so that's how it ended up with Heather, and she brought it home and she's like, you gotta read this.
Well, especially because it's, D&D adjacent.
It's D&D adjacent, so yeah.
But yeah, so next week is Snapdragon, and then right now, you guys, you have until Friday to vote for our Patreon pick of the month. So you've got 3 choices. It's Infidel, Abbott, which is by Saladin Ahmed, who's one of my favorite writers right now, and Monstrous by Marjorie Liu. So I'll be happy with any of those picks personally. Although I will warn, if Infidel gets picked, it is spooky, Amanda.
I think I might have read it.
She's read it.
Okay.
Didn't I read it?
Yeah, you read it.
I did.
And it's freaking awesome. Okay, I cannot find the freaking GIF, and I can't even show that. How the hell do I know when to hold it? Sorry. The old guy is controlling the panel. Sorry, give me a second.
What a damn shame.
All right, so I can't find the GIF, but so what happened was that he did like 8 panels like this, where he's using a jump rope to hide her parts, right? Her lady parts. And I thought that as a kid, I'm like, oh my god, he's trying to break the code. He's trying to break the comics code. This is genius. But yeah, oh man. So, and somebody made, a GIF out of all those panels.
Oh, that's really cool.
And I cannot find it. I used it in my video whenever I did the She-Hulk thing. And the cover's funny too because she's talking about breaking the code.
Speaking of Saladin Ahmed, I don't know if any of you guys are people in the chat. Do any of you do his Kickstarter for his next book?
No. What's his next book?
I'd have to look it up, but I didn't.
Gotta look it up on my phone.
I liked his, what was it that he did? The Black Bolt. I thought that was freaking awesome.
God. Oh man!
And
Amanda, if you haven't read Ahmed's Black Bolt, oh my god,
is it good?
It's very good.
It's good, and you don't have to be a fan of the Inhumans.
I know nothing.
Good run. Oh really?
I know nothing.
Well, except for like outside of Cosmic Saga stuff.
Yeah.
Ahmed's new book is called Dragon, and it's like, you know what? I don't know enough to tell you really quickly, but it looks good, and I'll do anything. I'll back anything Ahmed makes. So.
Yep, and he's writing the new run of Miles Morales, which is actually pretty fun. I don't know if it's still ongoing or not.
Well, isn't
But
he
if you
doing Miss Marvel?
Oh, and he's also doing Miss Marvel. Yes.
Oh wow, they've
It's
got
co-
him on retainer
It's
there.
called something else. It's not Miss Marvel. It's like something Miss Marvel. And if you haven't read Black Bolt, man, just check out some of that artwork. It's freaking beautiful, and then read it.
So
It's worth.
good.
I like the first half a lot more than I like the second half, but it was still a really good read.
Oh, Amanda, you would love it. No
I'm
question.
looking it up right now.
It's probably. I think it is on Unlimited.
Omar, just type She-Hulk burn
Good.
GIF.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
All right. Let's see if I can find it.
I still have it. I don't know why.
I do too. Well, I mean, we did for the channel.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't Dragon in the Humble Bumble bundle?
No, it's not out yet.
Humble Bumble.
Okay. Humble Bumble.
But
That's a teenism.
for people in the chat, there's two really good Humble bundles out right now for comics. One is an Image Comics bundle, which has a lot of stuff in it, and there's also a Be the Change bundle, which features like Black artists and writers. So I'll say it again. Upgrade Soul. both of Ezra Clayton Daniels' books are on there. So Upgrade Soul and Bottom Feeders, and a lot of other books. So I recommend checking that out.
When are we gonna do Upgrade Soul? Because you keep talking about it, and I feel like we need to. And just tell everybody to read along with us. They know how this show works.
I guess anytime.
Now you got me curious. And damn it, I can't find his gift.
Because I do want to actually talk about it, because so far just be able to recommend it.
Yeah, I want to
And
know
tell
what it is, like why you like it so much.
I'd love to hear both of your thoughts, really.
So I mean, yeah, whenever you want to do that, let me know. I'm in, because it looks. I haven't read. You told me not to read anything on it, and I did not. So just like,
Good.
all right, I can't find the gift, but I found some of the layouts.
Okay.
So this is the stuff that he did, which, man, right?
Do we want to do Upgrade Soul next month? Because Joe says he needs to talk about it.
Sure. It's available in trade paperback, right?
And on iPhone, iOS, and on the Humble Bundle.
Awesome.
Omar, you can have conversations not online. Yeah, I know. But who wants to talk about some of the stuff that I'm reading? I wanted to talk about this because Maddie's been wanting to talk about it. But Green Lantern said don't spoil it.
Yeah.
All right, how about we have a huge spoiler warning?
It will have to be the most. I'll be like, I'll spend like 5 minutes at the beginning.
What we'll do is we'll get a GIF that we'll just play throughout. It's just spoiler. Like,
Oh, I got a GIF. I got it.
it'll
I
just
got you.
that's not the spoiler GIF.
Where's it at?
No.
Yep.
This has just been Omar
The
searching
dance.
for gifts.
Yes, that's it. Oh my
No, he has
goodness.
them. He just
Tina,
has them waiting.
Kat Dennings, you're welcome.
He just has them
I
waiting.
am not seeing her face.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think most people have.
Amanda, as a baby you've been wanting to read that we need to add onto the list for next month while we're thinking about it.
next month. Oh gosh, what do I want to read?
Yeah, y'all let me know. We'll go ahead and start thinking
I
about
mean, I
that.
didn't want to read so long. Like I got those Black Science, and I really want to read those, but they're kind of big.
Oh, Black Science is excellent though.
I know, but I have to, like do one of them.
They don't take that long either. When does the new Neil Gaiman audio Sandman come out?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like you need to read that before reading, like letting him read it to you, because it's so good. I don't want him to.
So thick.
I don't want him to spoil. What is?
Oh yes, Queen of Country. I
Sandman.
did want that. That's on my list.
What No, Sandman is. I mean, it's linked. It's only 75 issues, but oh man, and you can break down each absolute because it's like a novel. It's so good. Lady Killer would be good too. I'm a huge fan of that book. I love that book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have that too.
I haven't even read that, man, so I don't know.
Pass for right now.
That's funny. I was literally typing before you said it. Which book, man?
Lady Killer.
Yeah, Lady Killer was solid. I don't know. Have you read it, Maddie?
Oh yeah.
And you've got it, Amanda. Oh, it's so good. I loved it.
Tina would love it too, honestly.
Yeah,
And the art's amazing, Tina.
Yeah, Joelle Jones.
beautiful.
Man, she's freaking awesome. That's why I'm hoping they'll do a deluxe hardcover for Catwoman run.
Dat Boy Steve, you should watch Stargirl another time. You can watch it for free in the CW app.
You can come back and I'll give you a quick recap.
Oh man, ooh! Have you guys watched this week's episode yet?
I'm on episode 3, so
I
I'm
need to
behind.
talk to you about
I'm
the
behind.
janitor.
Wow, I love Sandman so much. I read 4 absolutes over a week. Like Sandman,
Wow.
it's not a comic book. It's an experience. That's how I feel about Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
Castle in the Stars is great. Yeah, we only get one a year here. Where are you at, Jordan? Just out of curiosity, because it pisses me off that I have to wait a year to read the next book. It's a French comic book, but oh my god, it's gorgeous. Like if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, it is that type of artwork and that type of story. It is so good, and we only get one a year. She-Hulk by Byrne and Sandman. Dude, I can do either or. I'll make a suggestion. These ladies can make their suggestions, and then we'll take some suggestions from the past.
I am reading.
We have not done Descender. It always helps when you're already doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always the whole reason I started the show was so I could go back and read some of these books that I've had on my shelf.
It's helped me a lot, honestly, especially with like, I don't know. I know some people are reading more during the pandemic, but I have not been. So this is the one thing that gets me
Back
really
into it.
reading stuff.
Yeah.
Australia. Okay, well, how many volumes of Castle in the Stars do you all have? Because we only got 3, and 4 is scheduled for September. So who knows? I sound really upset because I am, because I really like that book, and I want them all here. It's going to be frustrating to own Catwoman 1 through 3, then 5 when Ram takes over, because Murphy's co-writing 4, which CG Pal, like...
So did they get rid of...
Murphy was doing his own stuff.
I get what you're saying. I thought maybe 4 wasn't going to happen. You're not going to buy 4. I got it.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Ram, though.
Ram?
Dude is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people were paying attention to him. I remember these Savage Shores last year. He wasn't writing anything for the big 2. And then just like that, Justice League Dark, Justice League, and I don't even... Catwoman? He's writing Catwoman now?
Is he getting Swamp Thing? Did I read that somewhere?
I don't know.
Did I imagine that?
I suggested above Usagi Yojimbo, like book 12. Oh, you're talking about Grass Cutter. Yes. Excellent choice.
I've never read any Usagi.
This is always fun whenever we get the chat involved. They all suggest things, and then we end up going, oh, I don't know, X-Men, the Mutant Massacre.
Let's go a little bit more mainstream. And
we don't. I'm the Uncanny Omar. I got to throw in a X-Men title from time to time. It's been months.
Are we going to do X-Men next month?
It's been a while, right? When's the last time y'all read an X-Men comic?
Can we read the new one?
Wait, which new one?
I want to read about the thruple.
You want to read about House and Powers of X
have you
first?
Seen
but you guys already did that.
Of
just me,
Wolverine.
Oh, did you?
And Cyclops. Listen,
Maddie clocked out because she got confused.
Yeah, I follow Stephen Bird. Yeah.
Yeah, she messaged me that.
I follow the artist, so I saw it on his thing.
I want to read that.
I saw that and I posted.
And I was like,
"What did I say?" Oh, I said, "Gross." This would never happen in a million years. Jean Grey would never wear black tights.
Yeah, I loved her comment. That was good.
And people were like, they're like, you almost got me.
Almost
this was in the X-Men group. Omar, is Jeff Johns' Flash 2 coming out? It hasn't been solicited yet, brother. Yeah, we should read House and Powers of X now that Maddie's a little. Remember, we were reading it weekly, and you were like, I can't keep up with this. It is confusing.
A lot going on.
But now I realize it's.
I could reread it again, so I could get a.
It's Jonathan Hickman, but it's decompressed, but it's starting like a whole new lineup, and I can explain things without going too much.
I'm down. I want Tina in on it too. If we do Hoxpox,
Hoxpox, you want to do Hoxpox with us? I think I invited her before, and she said no.
Well, this would be different. We'd be reading it all in one go.
Okay.
And not
one go. Okay, in bits. Yeah. I would be up for that. I'm an old Marvel girl, so.
Yeah.
I have no problem. Have you guys done Weapon X?
So good. Yes.
Okay.
We did Weapon X. We've done Wolverine, the miniseries. I'm slowly getting there. I'm slowly getting them to the Mutant Massacre for all the mutants and all that. Kind of want to do it. And honestly, the payoff of House and Powers of X, and that's what sucks about doing shows like this and exciting to do shows like this is when you do shows like this, we get to the big events, right? Or the big stapled storylines. So you're not enjoying the stories in between. And that's what sucks, right? So you don't get this build up, this relationship with these characters. Like the whole revelation of Moira McTaggart, I'm not going to spoil it here, but that would mean so much more if you had read like 67 issues of her.
It does seem
thinking
like really cool.
Maddie was talking to me about House of X and stuff.
Because I was stoked. I was like, Tina.
She was really stoked. And then I was like, oh yeah, with Myra, here's her backstory, here's this, because that's all my stuff that I used to read.
Yeah. So it means so much to me that he was, Jesus Christ. Not only did he do his homework, but he rewrote the book on how you tell a good story. James Asman's Gambit is freaking awesome.
Did we review All New Wolverine, or I just read it on my own?
Mm-mm. I've read it on my own. It's good. I'm waiting for that omnibus if they ever announce it, because I've not gotten the trades because I'm like, surely they're gonna do it. That was one of our earliest episodes. God Loves Man Kills. That's how you get people to read X-Men. Like 2 years ago.
I do have a question for you guys. I had someone message me yesterday, asking who I think would win in a fight if their powers were gone, Wolverine or Thor. Like, let's say their powers are all gone, they're just regular people. Who do you think would win?
So he didn't have adamantium claws
right.
And he hadn't lived for 100 years, and Thor's not a god that had lived thousands.
No, not that. Let's say they enter an arena, they're stripped of their like superhuman abilities.
Mm-hmm. They are still who they are.
Yeah, they are still who they are. Who do you think would win?
Wait. They're still who they are?
Yeah.
Oh, Wolverine, hands down. Yeah, no way. Like Thor
has height, and that's what you want to like fall to. But I definitely think Wolverine would, because just out of spite, like he would throw anything. Where I think Thor would be a little bit more respectful. Does that make sense? Look, Omar's laughing at me, but
no, I'm not. I'm laughing at that. I'm taking this question so damn serious that I'm like, wait a minute. There's an actual science behind this. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at myself, going, I need to calm the fuck down. This is not a real question.
Well, I had a friend message me, and he's like, I think Maddie would be able to help me answer this. And I thought about it really hard. I was like, well, for me, I feel like Wolverine would, because he's been in scraps, you know, like
exactly.
Working class man.
That's not how Thor fights.
Thor doesn't fight. Thor fights with lightning and hammers and words and drinks, and he couldn't hang with Wolverine.
He'd be a little bit more respectful. Like he would have a code of fighting, and Wolverine's just like throw dirt at it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolverine hands down. I was overthinking it. That's why I started laughing. I'm like, I need to come back to reality.
Other thing. This is for Amanda. Now that she's watching Zac Efron's new show, people think that he would be a good Wolverine, and now I get it. Do you get it now that you've seen?
Oh, because you saw his bearded man. Yeah, I can see why people think they could. And he's not that tall either. In reality, he's not tall, and he's
filled out.
Not hairy, but he did fill out. Yeah, he's not a skinny little thing anymore. When we took his shirt off and he's going in, I was like, oh, he's got some meat around here. Yeah. I like that. He's like, he looked like a mountain man, like really good old, down to earth man who's been living in the wild for a while.
Yeah. See, that's why I think a new Wolverine casting needs.
I'd be okay
a man with practical muscle, that looks like he's living. Like lumber.
Something a little bit more solid and less like pulled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because now that he looks like this, now he looks like that. He doesn't, to me, strike Johnny Storm anymore, which is what a lot of people originally were like going for because of the quipping and stuff like that. And that Zac Efron could do that because like Neighbors and stuff.
I have shared my thoughts on this Wolverine casting on this show so many times. I don't know. It's impossible. You cannot cast to me. No, I mentioned it. Like to me, there is a type in Hollywood, right? Whenever they say we need a Clint Eastwood type, we need a Danny Trejo type. We need.
I thought you were going to say Danny DeVito type.
Hey, the man has a type. But anyway, my point is that Wolverine is impossible to cast when you're like, oh, we need Tom Hardy, right? Or we need Zac Efron, because Wolverine it's this persona that he brings in. So it would have to be a no name, kind of like what they did with Hugh Jackman. It would have to be a no name because I can't get past
no name.
What's that?
An almost no name. Someone who has some maybe low key film credits or TV credits, but not really like
a C-list actor.
Well,
Yes.
no, I'm okay with like somebody like they pulled what's his face, Tom Hiddleston. Like he hadn't done anything. He was doing plays,
No,
right?
he had movies.
What was the
I
movie that he was doing?
Stuff
Oh, you
that-
watch? Oh, I believe you. I believe you. You know what? I believe you. I'm not even gonna have this argument. I do believe you.
No, I have. Yes,
I said I believe you.
a little itty bitty skinny little thing in these weird British movies.
I thought about that when I said
Yeah.
Danny DeVito
Yeah.
about Kelly Preston. She's
Yeah.
beautiful.
a lot of.
She was in Space Camp. I don't know if anybody remembers that movie.
Yeah.
No.
It was
Man,
an
we-
80s movie.
It's weird. We lost a couple of people today, like Grant Imahara, Kelly Preston.
Naya
Yeah, I
Rivera,
saw Grant Imahara. And who else?
the girl from Glee. That really. That
Yeah,
just.
that was really sad.
Yeah. And
Dude, that guy's everywhere, though. I love him. I think he's a wonderful actor, but he is everywhere.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac. Yeah.
He's been in a lot of stuff recently.
Cast Omar.
Omar would be a great Wolverine.
Yeah.
Diversity, Bill. There we go.
I got his
Awesome.
temper.
You got a temper.
He got his height.
You're short.
I ain't that short. He's
Got
like
the barrel
four-
chest.
he's 4'7".
They will
Someone-
never
someone
find
from
someone in
Wait.
Oh wait.
DeVito already has a role as Man Spider.
Spider Pig.
They already have a collector, don't they? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
what's his face?
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro. That guy.
Yeah.
I think that dude that played Sabretooth could play Wolverine.
Yeah.
The guy that's married to Naomi.
Yeah,
What's that guy?
Liev Schreiber.
I agree.
23 and Omar.
That reminds me of that intro we did.
Right?
You're holding my hand.
I'm holding your hand and I'm like, you're old.
No, you said how old are you?
How old are you? Yeah, how old are you? Should have been like, you're old.
That was a lot of fun
Man,
to put
all this
together.
talk about the movies just makes me miss
Yep.
MCU.
It
Oh,
makes me miss going to the movies. That's what it makes
God,
me miss, man.
Yeah, I just at least open up some drive-ins so we can go.
Do we even have any around here?
We've
We
got
do.
two. We got two.
And they're not open.
I think they are. One had to be updated with the problem is updating it like with the what is it, the technology or something
Yep.
for the
Not
sound.
the big like hunkers that hook onto your.
They need to do that.
I just miss going to the movies because the movies is the only damn place I can escape reality for sure.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm distracted by my phone, no matter what I'm doing.
same.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Like, serious. Movies the only place I put my phone down and it's on. It's me and the camera. Me and the screen.
We need to buy a projector so we can do our own backyard. Like,
Yeah, but we'd all be on our phones.
yeah.
Yeah, texting Tina, get the fuck off your phone.
Well, we can have
My
Tina's
wife.
wife can be in charge of yelling at everybody. For their
Yes,
phones away.
my wife would. That's
It'll
all
be
she
like-
does. Is just
It'll
get
be
off
like
her phone.
a
And then Elliot can see her
key
just
party.
looking at Amanda like,
Key party.
look at her,
Everyone.
fully enjoying the movie. I want to be. He's always like, I just want to enjoy a movie like Amanda enjoys a movie.
I do enjoy.
Yeah, I want to escape that much, but it isn't. X-Men is 20 years old today.
Yes, that was the big thing. The movie franchise is 20 years
Wow.
Okay. All right.
That makes
Whoa.
me feel old.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that thinks about when the
Thanks.
first came out. Think about that. It's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
I remember renting the movie with my
Hugh
dad.
Jackman feels old. No, I bet Patrick Stewart feels real old.
It's just me and the screen and 50 talking. Dude, you got to go opening night. That's when all the geeks go, right, to these movies. That's when
That's
the
when
fans
they
go.
clap, stand
Yeah,
up.
that's when they stand
I
up,
stood
cry
up,
together, hug each other. And then Amanda's talking the entire time. She doesn't give a shit who's around.
God, yeah, I miss it, all of us sitting together, and I miss being done and just being so emotionally overwhelmed by how great the thing I just saw was. And just walk out of the movie like, I've got to buy all the merchandise.
Even though she's seen a bootleg copy of it already and told me about it. Oh, yeah, I knew this scene was happening, but I'm still crying.
Miss it.
Yeah, hugs. Hugs were nice.
I
I don't even remember what that feels like anymore.
Ooh,
I have kids.
Crystal is the interesting question because do they have YA graphic novels in
Mhm.
Marvel?
Yep.
They do, and they're getting more now because they just had a new contractor agreement or whatever with
Scholastic.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Miles is getting his own soon.
Oh, great. Okay.
I forgot what else, but there's some more coming out, kind of like how DC's doing.
Well, yeah, because the DC ones I love them. They're so on point. I mean,
yeah.
I'm reading the Batman Nightwalker right now by Marie Lu, and I'm just like, do they have any of these for Marvel?
They do. I'm actually having Lydia bring one. I'm going to show you what's the perfect. It's over there.
Right up there.
When she brings that to you, just go ahead and hand her the Ironheart books.
Yeah, just hand
it. Oh, okay. I thought you were like, get her to bring you a beer. I'm like, I usually do. So Marvel has this line. She's trying to find them because she's reading them right now of young adult formats, which is done in graphic novel style.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the graphic novel lines. But anyway, they're smaller in scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think those are really good ways of doing. I think DC's coming out with a box set this year of the young adult novels.
Oh, really?
Like Nightwing, yeah, all the things that have been coming out. They're releasing it.
Yeah, no.
I thought I had told one of you all they're coming out with a box set.
I already bought them all, so it's too late.
Yeah.
They've always had sort of these young adult novels that have come in and out of fashion. Like growing up, I had a Wonder Woman, what is it, Golden Book.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Real quick, you know it. It'll be here on Friday. So excited.
She can't find it. It's okay, baby. It's okay.
You're like,
You were like pointing at Tina over there.
I'm like, what you doing?
I'm not pointing at Tina. I was
Squirrel.
pointing at my daughter, telling her it was good. Omar, how does synopsis Amanda behave in the movies? Terrible.
You both are.
Transformers.
And you get us both together? Oh,
Yeah, I
hell.
would say you can't put that on Amanda against both of you.
Yeah, when we're in a movie theater together, y'all better not. You better enjoy hearing our commentary for 2 hours.
Shows how much I love these two people because there is nothing I hate more than people talking loudly in a movie theater. And that's how much I love both of you because otherwise I'd be like.
Loudly, like inappropriately loudly, because something is funny, but
she'll be like,
funny to me. Yes, I do freak out a lot.
She's like,
going to the movies with Amanda and Omar is a completely different experience than going to the movies with Maddie and I. Like we're very quiet and we're just like
yeah. I think we.
Can you believe that?
Did you see that? Oh!
Hey, I give people a heads up. Though.
It's really
I'm
cute.
like,
No, you gave that one dude.
I'm like, I give people a heads up. People are like, are y'all gonna talk the whole time? I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be talking the whole time. You make one move.
That guy's like, is she gonna talk the whole time? You're like, yes.
God,
Yes,
I got
and another seat.
He was getting so mad. He's like, she's talking the whole time. I'm like, you're gonna have to find another seat, dude, because she's gonna be talking the whole time.
I try not to be disrespectful, but I have a loud voice naturally, so it's hard for me not to carry.
You both have a very genuine, like the love of this media is just trying to get out.
Outpouring. It's like me falling off my chair for like reading the old Inuyasha stuff, and my mom being like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah,
this is them in movies.
Yes,
that's okay. That's me at home during movies, especially during Hamilton. It's just me reacting with my entire body and like flinging it places.
How I was.
Well,
I used to have
different.
A friend of mine ran the movie theater, so I would have like. It was awesome because we'd have private screenings. When these movies come out, they send the theater a code at 2:00 in the morning on a Tuesday, and the movie goes, to the public on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
So we would be there 2:00 in the morning watching. So we watched like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, before anybody else did, and it was just a bunch of us that were friends together, and just I invited my brothers a couple of times. I invited Amanda too, but it's 2:00 on a Tuesday, right? In the morning. Not a lot of people are gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm there." But man, it was a lot of fun because that's all we did was talk to the theater. Like we were just talking to the screen the whole time.
That's how we were when we watched Cats. What else?
I was not talking to the screen.
People.
Which apparently David Gabriel loves Cats. So I was like, "What, the movie?"
Yes, he says.
All right, ladies. Oh man, good thing we stayed.
Oh,
Hey, wait a minute now, Lionheart.
well, lucky for y'all, we can't see any movies right now.
I just noticed your oh man, Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown. Not Mama Haha. Mama Haha is her bird. That's oh my gosh, Tina. That's not how.
Give me a second. Give me a second. It won't come to me. It won't come to me now.
Nope, I messed it up, man.
Me.
That what a good question. If your house was on fire, you could only save 2 books. What would they be? The Family Album and Uncanny X-Men Volume 1. We don't have a family album. Everything's digital.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like the video. That's the kindest thing Jack has said tonight.
Yes, and
Nakaruru. Nakaruru. I just remembered. Nakaruru. Yes. I still got it.
And thank you guys for a
Ironheart
great
got it.
show. This has been really fun just chilling with you guys tonight. Like,
Yeah.
I don't talk
Just
about it
shooting
enough,
afterwards.
but I really feel like this lifted my spirits for the week. You know?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I
Omar
really
doesn't save
appreciate
the Bible.
Omar
I
says
said I'm
that.
taking Uncanny X-Men Volume 1, brother. That's going. And I got a digital Bible right here, so it's fine. Nakaruru. Yes. Oh, thank you, Maddie. This was a lot of fun.
Yes.
These were too good. These were really great to talk about. And I even got to sneak in some New Warriors love in there.
That's right.
So,
like the video. I hope you comment down below if you're catching us later. Tell us what you thought about Ironheart. Do what Steve said. Subscribe if you're cool. And we have a Redbubble, we have Patreon, so you can support us through that. You can use Patreon to vote for our final book that we read this month.
yay! We got 25,000 subscribers.
Hey.
We didn't even talk about that. Thank you all. So to all you people.
And we will be back to read Snapdragon, which Amanda.
It looks
right there.
really cute.
I mean, Tina, you can always come back. You would love it.
Yeah, you would like it.
Yeah, that looks more up my alley
But
these
we have a
days.
special guest next Tuesday as well. Jazz the Bat Cosplay is joining. I asked what she'd want to join in this month as a guest, and she said, I've always wanted to read Snapdragon, so she's coming.
Nice. Okay.
And yeah, we'll catch you all next week.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I assume you want me to hit end broadcast again, even though you can't.
Yeah, I just
I
forget.
can do it. I don't mind.